I'm sitting in the ER at 9:47 p.m. on New Year's Eve with an IV in my arm, a surgery complication I can't ignore, and a phone that's about to die. 10 minutes ago, my mom was handing out New Year's presents in front of the whole family, smiling for photos, hugging relatives, playing the role of the year's best mother. Now she's ignoring my calls while I'm alone in a hospital waiting room trying not to panic. And the part nobody knows yet? She planned it. She'd already told everyone a lie about why I left, and she made sure I looked like the villain before I even got here. My name is Maris Vaughn. I'm 24, I live in Alabama, and I've always been the responsible one in my family, the one who keeps quiet, pays her own bills, doesn't cause drama. A few days ago, I had an outpatient surgery. Nothing major, but serious enough that I was told to watch for complications: bleeding, fever, dizziness, swelling. I was recovering fine. I thought I'd make it through New Year's without any issues. I was wrong. Before I tell you what happened next, where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or state in the comments so I can say hey. And if you've ever dealt with toxic family pressure during the holidays, hit like and subscribe because this story gets worse. Let me take you back to earlier tonight. Back to the moment my mom, Celeste, decided presents were more important than my safety. Back to the Rolex. New Year's Eve started the way it always did in my family, with my mom in full performance mode. She called it a quick family stop before the big party later that night, but nothing my mom does is quick, and nothing is ever just for family. Celeste had invited everyone: my brother Jace, my aunt Darlene, a few cousins, some neighbors she barely knew but loved to impress. The living room was packed, the table was set with champagne flutes and confetti, and there were gift bags lined up like props in a photo shoot. Because that's what it was. A photo shoot. Celeste stood in the center of the room, holding her phone at the perfect angle, smiling like she'd just won Mother of the Year. "Okay, everyone, gather around," she said, waving her hand like a director. "I want to capture this moment. New year, new blessings, new gratitude." I stood near the back, trying to stay out of frame. I wasn't feeling great. My incision site was sore, my head felt foggy, and I was fighting the kind of exhaustion that makes you want to sit down and not get back up. But I didn't say anything, because in my family, saying something means you're making it about yourself. Celeste handed out the first gift, to Jace, of course. My brother opened the box slowly, milking the moment, and when he pulled out a Rolex, an actual Rolex, the room erupted. "Oh my God, Mom," Jace said, grinning like he'd earned it. Celeste pressed her hand to her chest, her eyes glistening with fake tears. "You deserve it, baby. You've worked so hard this year." Jace hadn't worked hard. Jace had quit 2 jobs, moved back home, and spent most of the year asking Mom for money, but nobody said that out loud. Someone clapped. Someone else whistled. My Aunt Darlene smiled politely but said nothing. And then Celeste handed Jace another box. Designer sneakers. Limited edition. The kind that cost more than my rent. "Start the year looking like success," Celeste said, beaming at him. Jace hugged her. She hugged him back. Everyone took photos. And I stood there, dizzy, trying not to pass out. Then Celeste turned to me. "Maris," she said sweetly, "come here, honey." I walked forward slowly. She handed me a small box. I opened it. Inside was a key pouch, leather, plain, small enough to fit in my palm. "This is perfect for you," Celeste said, smiling that sharp smile she uses when she's testing you. A few people nodded like it made sense. I looked at the key pouch. Then I looked at the Rolex on Jace's list, and I said nothing. Because if I said anything, I'd be jealous. If I reacted, I'd be ungrateful. If I cried, I'd be dramatic. So I smiled. I said, "Thanks, Mom," and I set the box down. Celeste's eyes flickered, just for a second, like she was disappointed I didn't break.
The gift exchange didn't last long after that. Celeste handed out a few more presents, perfume for Darlene, a candle set for a cousin, a bottle of wine for a neighbor, but the energy had shifted. The big moment was over. Jace had gotten his spotlight, and I had gotten my message. I excused myself to the bathroom and stood over the sink, trying to breathe through the wave of nausea rolling through me. My hands were shaking, not because of the key pouch, but because something felt wrong. My body felt wrong. I splashed cold water on my face and checked my phone. I had the after-hours nurse line saved. I thought about calling, but I could already hear my mom's voice in my head. Don't make a scene. When I came back out, Celeste was standing in the hallway waiting for me. "You okay?" she asked, but her tone wasn't concerned. It was annoyed. "I'm fine," I said. "You don't look fine," she said. "You look like you're about to ruin the night." I blinked. "What?" Celeste stepped closer and lowered her voice. "Don't do this. Don't make tonight about you. Your brother finally has a good night. Don't take it from him." I stared at her. "I wasn't going to." "Good," she cut me off. "Because if you can stand here and talk, you're fine. And if you're not fine, wait until after midnight. I'm not leaving my guests." She patted my shoulder like she'd just given me a pep talk. Then she walked back into the living room and raised her glass. "To family," she said, and everyone cheered. I leaned against the wall and tried to steady my breathing. My Aunt Darlene appeared beside me a moment later. "You sure you're okay?" she asked, quietly. I nodded, even though I wasn't. "Just tired," I said. Darlene didn't look convinced, but she didn't push. She just stayed close, and for the first time that night, I felt like someone actually saw me. The party moved into the dining room. People were eating, laughing, taking more photos. Jace was showing off his sneakers to anyone who would look. Celeste was narrating every moment for her phone like she was hosting a reality show. And I was sitting on the couch trying not to throw up. The dizziness was getting worse. The pain was sharper. And when I stood up to get some water, the room tilted. I grabbed the arm of the couch to steady myself. Darlene was across the room, but she saw me. She walked quickly. "Maris," she said, "what's wrong?" "I don't know," I said. Something doesn't feel right." Darlene's face shifted. "When was your surgery?" she asked. "A few days ago," I said. "They said to watch for complications, but I thought I was fine." "What kind of complications?" I listed them off. Bleeding, fever, dizziness, swelling. Darlene looked at me hard. "Maris," she said, "I think you need to go to the ER." I nodded, because I knew she was right. I just didn't know how I was going to tell my mom.
I found my mom in the kitchen refilling champagne glasses and laughing with a neighbor about something I didn't hear. She looked happy, relaxed, like everything was perfect. I walked up slowly, trying to keep my voice steady. "Mom," I said quietly, "can I talk to you for a second?" She didn't look at me right away. She finished pouring the champagne first, set the bottle down, wiped her hands on a towel, and then turned to me with that tight smile she uses when she's already annoyed. "What is it, Maris?" I lowered my voice so the neighbor wouldn't hear. "I'm not feeling right," I said. "I think I need to go to the ER." Her smile dropped, not because she was worried, because she was angry. "Are you serious right now?" she said. "I'm dizzy," I said, "and the pain is getting worse. I think something's wrong." Celeste glanced toward the living room where everyone was laughing and talking, then looked back at me like I'd just asked her to set the house on fire. "Maris," she said slowly, like she was talking to a child, "not tonight." I blinked. "What?" "You heard me. Not tonight. Don't embarrass me." "I'm not trying to embarrass you. I think I have a complication." She crossed her arms. "If you can stand here and argue with me, you're fine." "I'm not arguing. You always do this," she said, her voice rising just enough to make me flinch. "You always pick the worst timing. Your brother finally has a good night. Everyone's here. Everyone's happy. And you want to make it about you." I felt my throat tighten. "I'm not making it about me," I said. "I'm telling you I need help." Celeste leaned in close, her voice dropping to a hiss. "You chose this surgery. You chose the timing. You chose to recover during the holidays. That's on you, so handle it. Wait until after midnight. I'm not leaving my guests." She picked up the champagne bottle and walked back into the living room like the conversation was over. I stood there, shaking, not from fear, from disbelief, because I had just told my mother I needed to go to the hospital, and she told me to wait. I went back to the couch and sat down, trying to breathe through the pain. Darlene was watching me from across the room. She walked over and sat beside me. "What did she say?" Darlene asked. She said no," I quieted. Darlene's jaw tightened. "She said no?" I nodded. "She told me to wait until after midnight. She said I'm making it about me." Darlene stared at me for a long moment. Then she stood up. "Get your bag," she said. "What?" "Get your bag, Maris," Darlene said again, her voice calm but firm. "I'm taking you to the ER." "I don't want to cause a scene," I said. "You're not causing anything. You're sick, and I'm getting you help." She didn't wait for me to argue. She grabbed her keys, walked to the hallway, and picked up my purse from the chair. I stood up slowly, my head spinning. Celeste noticed. She was mid-sentence with someone when she saw Darlene holding my bag. Her eyes narrowed. She walked over fast. "Where are you going?" she asked, looking at me, not Darlene. "I'm taking her to the ER," Darlene said before I could answer. Celeste forced a smile. "She's fine," she said loudly for anyone listening. "She just needs some air." "She needs a hospital," Darlene said flatly. Celeste's smile cracked. She stepped closer to me and lowered her voice. "If you walk out of here right now, don't you dare tell people I abandoned you." I stared at her, and for the first time all night, I didn't try to defend myself. I didn't try to keep the peace. I just turned around and followed Darlene to the car.
The drive to the ER was quiet. Darlene didn't ask me questions. She didn't tell me it was going to be okay. She just drove, her hands tight on the wheel, her jaw set like she was trying not to say what she was really thinking. I leaned my head against the window and closed my eyes. My phone buzzed. I looked down. It was a text from my mom. "What do you want me to do about it? I'm with people." I stared at the message, not because it surprised me, but because it confirmed everything I'd been trying not to believe my entire life. My mom cared more about her image than she cared about me. I didn't text back. I turned my phone over and focused on breathing. When we got to the ER, Darlene helps me inside and stayed with me while I checked in at the front desk. The nurse asked me what was wrong. I told her. Post-op, complications, dizziness, pain. She nodded and handed me a clipboard. "We'll get you back as soon as we can," she said. I sat down in the waiting room. Darlene sat beside me. "You want me to call your mom?" she asked quietly. I shook my head. "She won't answer," I said. Darlene didn't argue. She just stayed. While I was sitting there filling out paperwork, my phone started buzzing again. Not from my mom, from my brother. "You're such a drama queen." Then another one. "You always ruin everything." I turned my phone off because I wasn't going to defend myself to people who had already decided I was the problem. Pause. Was that evil or am I overreacting? Drop your honest opinion in the comments because I need to know how you would have responded. 20 minutes later, a nurse called my name. Darlene squeezed my hand. "I'll be right here," she said. I nodded and followed the nurse back. They took my vitals, asked me questions, started an IV, told me the doctor would be in soon. And the whole time, I kept thinking about my mom, about the Rolex, about the key pouch, about the way she smiled when she told me to wait. And I realized something that made my chest ache. She didn't just refuse to help me. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed watching me struggle. She enjoyed punishing me for existing. And she was going to tell everyone it was my fault. While I was lying in that ER bed, my phone, still off, was filling up with messages I couldn't see yet. Messages from my mom, messages from relatives, messages that were already building a story I wasn't part of. Because my mom wasn't at the hospital worrying about me. She was at home posting the Rolex, posting the sneakers, posting a caption that said, "Starting 2026, blessed and grateful for my family." And when people asked where I was, she had an answer ready. An answer that made me the villain. An answer I didn't know about yet. But I was about to find out.
The doctor came in about 30 minutes later. She was calm, professional, asked me all the right questions. When did the pain start? How severe? Any fever? Any unusual bleeding? I answered everything as clearly as I could, even though my brain felt foggy and my hands wouldn't stop shaking. She examined me, checked my incision site, ordered some tests. "We're going to monitor you for a bit," she said. "It looks like you might have some inflammation. We'll run blood work and make sure there's no infection. You did the right thing coming in." I nodded. She left, and I was alone again. I turned my phone back on, and that's when I saw it. 17 missed calls, 12 text messages, 3 voicemails. None of them were from my mom asking if I was okay. They were from relatives. "Why did you leave? Your mom is so hurt right now. It's New Year's Eve, Maris. Really? You could have waited one night." I scrolled up, and then I saw the message from my mom in the family group chat, posted 20 minutes ago. I tried so hard to make tonight special for everyone. I bought gifts, I invited family, and Maris stormed off because she didn't like what I got her. I'm heartbroken. I read it again, then again. My hands started shaking harder. She lied. She didn't just twist the story, she completely rewrote it, and everyone believed her. My cousin replied, "That's so ungrateful." My uncle, "She's always been sensitive." Someone I barely knew, "Family is everything. She needs to grow up." I felt my chest tighten, not because I was surprised, but because I finally understood. My mom didn't just refuse to help me, she weaponized it. She turned my medical emergency into proof that I was the problem, and she did it in front of everyone. Real talk, what would you do if your mom refused to help during a medical emergency? Comment your answer because this next part had me shaking. I didn't respond to the group chat, not yet, because I knew if I said anything while I was emotional, it would be used against me. Instead, I opened my photo app and I started taking screenshots. The text from my mom, "What do you want me to do about it? I'm with people." The message from my brother, "You're such a drama queen." The timestamp on my ER check-in paperwork. The call log showing I'd tried to reach her 12 times. And then I opened Instagram, and there it was, my mom's story, posted 37 minutes ago. A video of Jace holding up the Rolex, a close-up of the designer sneakers, a boomerang of champagne glasses clinking, and a caption, "Starting 2026, blessed and grateful for my family." The timestamp matched the time I was in triage. I screenshotted that too, because if my mom wanted to play the victim, I was going to show everyone the receipts. Darlene came back to check on me a few minutes later. She saw my face and sat down immediately. "What happened?" she asked. I handed her my phone. She read the group chat in silence. Her jaw tightened. Then she looked at me. "Maris," she said slowly, "did she really just tell everyone you left because of a present?" I nodded. Darlene stood up, her hands balled into fists. "I heard what she said to you in that hallway. I watched you refuse to help you. I drove you here myself. And now she's lying? She's not just lying. She's making sure no one believes me." Darlene stared at me for a long moment. Then she opened her own phone. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Texting the group chat," she said. "Darlene, don't." "No," she said firmly. "I'm not letting her do this to you." She typed fast. I watched the message send in real time. "I drove Maris to the ER because she had a post-op complication and Celeste refused to take her. Stop attacking her." The chat went silent for exactly 4 seconds. Then it exploded. "Wait, what? Celeste, is that true? Why didn't you say that?" My mom didn't respond, not in the chat, but my phone started ringing. Her name flashed on the screen. I stared at it. Darlene looked at me. "You don't have to answer," she said. I didn't. I let it ring, and ring, and ring, until it finally stopped.
The hospital kept me for another 2 hours. They ran blood work, monitored my vitals, gave me IV fluids and anti-nausea meds, and confirmed what I already knew. I had inflammation and early signs of infection. The doctor wrote me a prescription and told me to follow up with my surgeon in the morning. "You're lucky you came in when you did," she said. I didn't feel lucky. I felt exhausted and angry and done. Darlene drove me home just before midnight. We didn't talk much. She pulled into my driveway, put the car in park, and turned to me. "You know she's going to call again, right?" Darlene said. I nodded. "And when she does," Darlene continued, "she's not going to apologize. She's going to make it about her. She's going to cry. She's going to say you embarrassed her, and she's going to ask you to delete everything." I looked at her. "How do you know?" "Because I've seen her do it before," Darlene said quietly. "Your uncle once told her no about something, I don't even remember what, and she made his life hell until he apologized for setting a boundary." I felt a chill run through me. "Why didn't anyone ever say anything?" I asked. "Because it's easier to keep the peace than to fight her," Darlene said. "But tonight, I'm not keeping the peace, and you don't have to either." She hugged me before I got out of the car. "Call me if you need anything," she said. I nodded and went inside. I locked the door behind me, sat on my couch, and checked my phone. The family group chat was still going. People were asking questions now. "Celeste, what happened? Why didn't you take her to the hospital? Is Maris okay?" My mom hadn't responded, but Jace had. "This is ridiculous. Mom did nothing wrong. Maris is just jealous and trying to ruin everything like she always does." I read his message twice, and something inside me snapped. Not in a loud way, not in a screaming, breaking things kind of way, but in a quiet, final kind of way. The kind of snap that meant I was done protecting people who had never protected me. I opened the group chat, and I typed, "Be honest, if you saw this in your family group chat, who would you believe? Team Maris or Team Celeste? Drop it in the comments." I didn't rant, I didn't beg, I didn't explain myself. I just posted the facts. I had a post-op complication tonight. I asked Mom for a ride to the ER. She refused and told me to wait until after midnight because she didn't want to leave her guests. Aunt Darlene drove me. I was admitted, treated, and given antibiotics for an infection. Here are the receipts. Then I attached the screenshots. The ER check-in timestamp, 9:17 p.m. The call log showing 12 missed calls to my mom. Her text, "What do you want me to do about it? I'm with people." The Instagram story she posted while I was in triage. The discharge paperwork with the infection diagnosis. I hit send, and I waited. The chat went completely silent. No one typed. No one reacted. No one defended my mom. Because they couldn't. Not anymore. Then my phone rang. It was my mom. I answered. "Maris," she said, her voice shaking. "What did you just do?" "I told the truth," I said. "You posted private information," she hissed. "You're making me look like a monster." "You made yourself look like a monster. I just showed people what actually happened." She started crying, loud, dramatic sobs. "How could you do this to me? On New Year's Eve? In front of everyone? After everything I've done for you?" "You didn't do anything for me tonight. You left me in the ER alone." I was with guests, she shouted. I know, I said. You told me, multiple times. You chose your guests over your daughter's health, and then you lied about it. She was quiet for a moment. Then her voice changed. Softer, sweeter, more dangerous. Maris, please, delete it. People are going to judge me. They're going to think I'm a bad mother. Is that what you want? I closed my eyes. What I wanted was for you to take me to the hospital. I'll take you next time, I promise. I'll do better. Just delete the post, please. There won't be a next time, I said, and I hung up.
I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my couch with my phone in my hand, watching the family group chat light up in real time. My mom still hadn't responded to the receipts, but everyone else had. My uncle, Celeste, this is serious. Call me. My cousin, I'm so sorry, Maris. I didn't know. Another relative, why would you lie about this? Someone I hadn't heard from in years. This is messed up. Even people who had defended my mom earlier were backtracking. I didn't realize it was that bad. I thought it was just a misunderstanding. Maris, I'm sorry I said those things. But the person I was watching for didn't say a word. Jace, my golden child brother, the one who got the Rolex and the designer sneakers and the spotlight, the one who called me a drama queen while I was in the ER. He went silent, not because he felt bad, but because he knew the story had flipped, and for once he couldn't spin it. At 1:43 a.m., my mom tried calling again. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. I played it on speaker. Her voice was shaking, but it wasn't sad. It was angry. Maris, you have humiliated me. You've destroyed my reputation. You've made me look like a terrible mother in front of the entire family. I don't know what I did to make you hate me this much, but congratulations, you won. Everyone thinks I'm a monster now. I hope you're happy. I saved the voicemail, because even in her apology, she made herself the victim. She didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't acknowledge what she'd done. She didn't apologize for leaving me at the ER. She just blamed me for telling the truth. At 6 a.m. on New Year's Day, I woke up to 17 new messages. Most of them were from relatives checking in. How are you feeling? Do you need anything? I'm so sorry we didn't know. But one message stood out. It was from Darlene. Celeste just called me. She's furious. She wants me to talk some sense into you. I told her I'm not doing that. I told her she owes you an apology. She hung up on me. I smiled for the first time in hours because Darlene didn't fold. She didn't try to keep the peace. She stood up for me, and that meant more than any apology my mom could have given me. Later that morning, my mom posted on Facebook, not in the family chat, on her public page, where all her friends could see. The post said, "Sometimes the people you love the most will hurt you the deepest. I've spent my life sacrificing for my children, and last night I learned that love isn't always enough. Heartbroken but moving forward. Happy New Year to those who truly appreciate family." The comments poured in. "You're such a strong woman, Celeste. Some people don't deserve good mothers. Stay strong, Queen." People who had no idea what actually happened were defending her because she knew how to play the victim better than anyone. This is the moment everything changed. Do you think posting the receipts was justified? Tell me yes or no and why. I didn't respond to her post. I didn't comment. I didn't try to defend myself because I'd already said everything I needed to say, and the people who mattered, the people who saw the receipts, knew the truth. The rest didn't matter. But my mom wasn't done. At 2 p.m., she sent me one more text. "I'm coming over. We need to talk." I replied immediately, "No, you're not welcome here." She called. I didn't answer. She called again.
I blocked her number. Then I called Darlene. "She's trying to come to my apartment," I said. "Do you want me to come over?" Darlene asked. "No," I said. "I just wanted someone to know, in case she shows up. If she shows up, don't let her in. You don't owe her anything." "I know," I said. And for the first time, I actually believed it. My mom never came to my apartment, but she did send one final message before I blocked her everywhere. "You'll regret this. One day you'll need me, and I won't be there." I read it twice, and then I deleted it, because the truth was I had needed her. I needed her on New Year's Eve when I was dizzy and scared and asking for help, and she wasn't there. She chose presents and photos and her image over me, so her threat didn't scare me. It freed me, because I finally realized I didn't need someone who only showed up when it looked good. I needed people who showed up when it mattered, and my mom had proven once and for all that she wasn't one of them.
New Year's Day passed quietly. I spent most of it resting, taking my antibiotics, and catching up on the messages from relatives who were finally starting to see my mom for who she really was. Some apologized, some asked questions, some just said, "I'm here if you need anything." And that was enough. But the most important message came from Darlene. "I'm proud of you. You stood up for yourself. That takes guts. Let me know when you're ready for lunch. My treat." I smiled, because even though my mom had tried to destroy me, I wasn't alone. I had people, real people, people who didn't need me to perform or shrink or apologize for existing. On January 2nd, my mom tried one last time. She didn't call, she didn't text, she sent Jace. He knocked on my door at 9 a.m. I looked through the peephole and saw him standing there, hands in his pockets, looking uncomfortable. I didn't open the door. "Maris," he said through the door, "I know you're in there. Just open up. I want to talk." "I don't," I said. "Come on," he said. "Mom's a mess. She's crying all the time. She barely slept. You really hurt her." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable. "She left me at the ER, Jace," I said, "and you called me a drama queen." He was quiet for a moment. "I didn't know it was that serious," he said. "You didn't ask," I said. Another pause. "Look," he said, "she just wants you to delete the post. That's it. Just delete it and we can move on." "No," I said. "Maris." "Go home, Jace," I said. "I'm done protecting people who hurt me." He stood there for a few more seconds. Then I heard his footsteps walk away, and I locked the deadbolt. By the end of the week, the family group chat had split into two camps. Some people defended my mom. She made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. You only get one mother. This will blow over if you just forgive her. But more people didn't. A mistake is forgetting to call. This was a choice. She lied to all of us. Maris deserves better. I left the group chat, not because I was running away, but because I didn't need to watch people debate whether or not I deserved to be treated like a human being. I knew I did, and the people who mattered knew it too. On January 10th, I got a letter in the mail from my mom. Handwritten, 3 pages long. I almost threw it away without reading it, but I didn't. I opened it, and it said exactly what I expected. "I'm sorry you feel hurt. I never meant for things to go this way. I've always done my best for you and your brother. I don't know why you're punishing me like this, but I forgive you. I hope one day you'll forgive me too. Love, Mom." I read it once, then I folded it back up and I put it in a drawer. Not because I was keeping it, but because I wanted to remember. I wanted to remember that even when she had the chance to apologize, really apologize, she didn't. She made it conditional. She made it about her feelings. She made it my fault. And that told me everything I needed to know. 3 months later, I ran into my mom at the grocery store. She saw me first. She smiled, the same smile she used in photos. "Maris," she said, like we were old friends. "How are you, sweetheart?"
I looked at her, and I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no guilt. Just nothing. I'm good, I said. We should get lunch soon, she said. I miss you. I don't think that's a good idea, I said. Her smile faltered. Maris, it's been months. Don't you think it's time to move on? I looked her in the eye. I did move on, I said. That's the problem. And I walked away. She didn't follow. If this story made your blood boil, hit like and subscribe for more. And if you've ever been the scapegoat in your family, share your story in the comments. Somebody reading it needs to feel less alone. Because here's what I learned. You don't owe anyone access to you just because they're family. You don't owe anyone forgiveness just because they want it. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. My mom gave me a key pouch on New Year's Eve. She thought it was a message, and it was, but not the one she intended, because that night I unlocked something I'd been keeping locked for years, the truth. And once you unlock that, you can't go back. I didn't need a better present, I needed my mother. And when she proved she couldn't be that person, I became my own.